Hi, I'm back here today to talk about humanities and STEM. So just to recap, I have an undergraduate degree in English and now I'm currently seeking a sort of a joint bachelor slash master's degree in computer science. And so I'm not saying I'm an expert in this, but I feel like I have a little bit more experience than people who are just in STEM majors talking about humanities majors, or humanities majors talking about STEM majors who've actually never been in the STEM major. So I am currently pretty new in computer science, so I'm gonna speak from my own experiences up until now. The biggest thing between STEM and humanities, the relationship, is that one is a more creative field and the other is a more analytical field. So we get that like left brain and the right brain thing, which has mostly been debunked. Some people claim that one major is just purely creativity and the other is purely analytical, but I don't really buy that, because since being in both, I've realized that a lot of STEM is creativity, and especially I see that in computer science with programming. So my experience is that humanities are seen as creative because when you write a research paper, well, not a research paper, an analytical slash research paper, the author who's writing it has a lot of power on which way to sway the audience, meaning they can grab all the facts, all the stats, previous resources claiming what happened, and then they can make scholarly guesses on what likely happened, meaning they can get all the information, and if they can work it in such a way that you can make anything happen basically, but you would need a lot of educated guesses and with that, the humanities majors have a lot of leeway in how they want to write a paper. The only thing is that at the end, your paper has to make sense. It's not about whether it's right or wrong. It's your thoughts and they just have to make sense. So a lot of it is about persuasion, what the author is doing. I kind of see that way with programming as well. In coding and programming, I feel that there are so many ways to go about solving a CS problem. You can implement it in different ways. You can use a do-while loop, you could use a while loop, you could use a for loop, or you could use a recursive algorithm. It doesn't matter which way you solve a problem. As long as you can make the program work, the program works. There are ways on how to efficiently write the problem. You want to do it in the most efficient way and save memory and CPU cycles. But the thing is that with program, there are so many different ways to do it to get to the correct answer. And so that's why it's sort of creative, because there's not one way to do it. The way the teacher teaches it, you can do it, I don't know, the way somebody on Stack Overflow did it or somebody on YouTube tutorial did it. And so that inherently is creativity. Students have the choice to write it the way that they want to write it. And that's not always the same as the way the teachers write it. And even with syntax, there's so many things that you could choose to do. There are different ways. For example, I've been practicing linked lists on C++, and when you declare a pointer variable, you can write the little star thing on the data type, or you can write attach it to the variable name. Like, that's two different ways that you could do it. Both ways are right. It depends on how you want to do it. You can append that star symbol to the data type, like int star variable name, or you could do int space star variable name. That's just how you want to do it. I feel like that kind of shows just the creative nature of programming. Science doesn't just have to be analytical and just all facts. You can make it your own. And that's what I'm seeing just coming as a humanities major and just being thrown in, the science field. It's so different. Just the amount of information you get is astounding, because I spent 4 years on an English degree and I feel like I've never worked as hard as I have doing computer science than I have in my English major. So from personal experience, yes, STEM majors are way harder than humanities major, but I don't know if it's to do with because I just happen to be better at English or I've just been doing it for longer. I don't know, because some people claim that they hate writing, they would never do writing, that STEM is way better for them. So I think it kind of has to deal with what you're naturally good at, but then I feel like that goes back to the left brain, right brain thing, and that I don't really know. But I feel like there's some truth to it, maybe not as much as a lot of people claim it does, saying, oh, you're purely a creative person, you're not gonna survive here, you know, that way. But I feel like a lot of people are a little bit of both. I also found that both majors are equally rewarding, and even though I found STEM so much harder, I found the work I did in my English classes as much rewarding as I do when I fix a bug in my program. So, you know, I did a lot of research papers in my English classes. I was a English major, but my concentration was in writing, research writing, and kind of studying rhetoric. So it's not creative writing. So different kind of writing. I found a lot of the stuff about reading about rhetoric and the study of writing, it's very rooted in a lot of research, and so it doesn't feel like, oh, she's studying writing, like blah blah blah, you know. I I feel like most people will know what I'm talking about. It's just hard for me to explain. There's good things in both majors. I mean, I guess we live in a world where, you know, financial security is a big portion, and like most likely you're gonna find that with a STEM major and a STEM career field. But that's not to say that you won't find any job in a humanities-based field. Even though people majoring in humanities is declining, we are always in need of humanities majors, because we are humans and the humanities study humans, and we need to know what's going on in that field. All right, that's it for now. If you're a humanities major or a STEM major, or you've experienced both, please leave a comment. I'd like to know your experiences with that and how you dealt with it. That'll be interesting to know. So please subscribe, like the video, and I'll see you next time.